Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I will be talking about the 5 books I read in January. I had a pretty good month of reading. I had a few rereads, and then I read a new to me author this month that I really enjoyed. So let's get into it. The first book I read was Outer Order, Inner Calm by Gretchen Rubin. Gretchen Rubin is an author who studies good habits, happiness, the 5 senses, and so much more. She has taught me so much through reading her books and listening to her podcast, as well as following her on Instagram. She gives great tips, hacks, and advice on how to live a happier life. And this book was no exception to that. And in this book, she gives dozens of manageable tips to create a more serene and orderly home in order to create the life that we want. This book was great for me to start off the new year in January because I truly believe that our home is a reflection of our minds. And so I believe that having an organized and clean home in turn gives us an open mind to think clearly and positively. I think that when our home is messy and filled with chaos, it creates a lot of unnecessary chaos in our minds. So I love to start off my new year organizing, decluttering, cleaning, and just really creating a home that is meant to serve my family and I. I have read all of Gretchen Rubin's books so far, except Happier at Home, and I have loved all of them. I have learned something from each and every single one of them. I've enjoyed them. And she will be coming out with a new book this year called The Secrets of Adulthood that I am really looking forward to reading. I would read this woman's grocery list if I could because I know for a fact I'd learn something new on that grocery list. But overall, I gave her book Outer Order, Inner Calm a 3 out of 5 stars, and I enjoyed it. The next book I read was The Unmaking of June Farrell by Adrienne Young. And Adrienne Young is a new to me author. I've never read any of her books before. In this story, we follow June Farrell, who comes from a long line of Pharaoh women who believed they are cursed. And in this story, she'll risk everything to end her family's curse, solve her mother's disappearance, and find love for herself. This book was very different from anything I've really read. I thought I had one idea going into it, and nope, it was completely something different. But I really enjoyed it. I definitely would read more books by this author. I thought it was fun. I didn't want to put it down. So I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. Would recommend. And now, as you know from my first YouTube video, I reviewed Fourth Wing because this is what I read at the beginning of 2024. Well, I reread it this year along with Iron Flame in order to prepare for Onyx Storm. And a quick recap: in Fourth Wing, we follow Violet Sorrengail as she enters a war college to become a dragon rider. Although she is petite and fragile, make no mistake, she is very strong mentally, and she learns to become strong physically as well to become a dragon rider. Her story continues in Iron Flame, where in this war college, they are trained to fight a common enemy. As we find out, the enemy that they've been trained to fight is not actually the enemy that they really need to be preparing to fight. So we follow her story in that, and then we get to Onyx Storm, which they are still fighting this enemy because the enemy is very powerful, very strong. I loved Fourth Wing, loved Iron Flame, and then we get to Onyx Storm, and I didn't love it as much, to be honest. I felt like there was a lot of filler in this book, unnecessary maybe information. It had a very slow start. It was really hard for me to continue to pick it back up. Once we got about halfway, I did want to keep reading and I wanted to know what was going to happen. And as classic Rebecca Yarros, again, she leaves us on a cliffhanger. And I did see in a recent interview that she said the series was originally supposed to be a 3-book series. And that makes sense. I definitely could have seen this being 3 books. Then she decided to make it a 5-book series. And I'm really hoping that in the next one, there isn't so much filler and unnecessary information. And I really hope she gives us more of the feeling of what we felt when we first read Fourth Wing. Will I be reading the next book Yes, I will. Even though I don't think it's going to be coming out until maybe 2027. Yes, I will be reading, I will be finishing the series because I'm a nosy bee and I want to know what is going to happen. But overall, I gave Onyx Storm a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And Fourth Wing will continue to be my favorite book so far of the series. So that's my reading wrap up for January. If you read any of the books I read this month, let me know in the comments below. If you have any other book recommendations that you think I should read, also comment down below, let me know. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.